Hello again, racing fans. Welcome. Good to have you along with me, Rouvaun Smith, as we look ahead to midweek racing on Wednesday. We're off to KZN. Hollywoodbets Greyville is the venue. We're on the poly track, where the first of 9 races on the programme gets underway at 11:45. Now, I've been told that I need to be fitted with a pair of blinkers, something I've got to get used to, and I'm sure you will have to too, as I've been told I best put these on when I do read. So, let's get straight into the action. First race is a maiden juvenile plate where 9 runners will line up at the 1200 metre mark, and we have an odds-on favourite here, 0.91 to 1, about number 2, Star in Motion on Hollywoodbets.net. I'm not looking any further than a source in this race. I heard whispers about this one before he even stepped out onto the track, which means that this horse must have been showing good work back home. On debut, was slow away, did find its stride, was staying on at the business end to finish just outside the placings in 5th position. Would have come on with the benefit of that one, and I do think will enjoy the step up to 1200 metres, and with any amount of improvement to come, to me the horse to beat. Dean Kannemeyer, Craig Zaki, should get us off to a winning start with 2 Star in Motion to win it. Ahead of number 3, That'll Be the Day. For third, I'm going with 6, George's Magic, and fourth, number 7, Count of Ruin. Second race, first leg of the bipod, jumps at 12:20. It's a maiden juvenile plate for fillies where 9 runners will line up at the 1400 metre mark. And here, all the money has been for number 3, Malshanamu, from an opening call of 2.5 to 1, through the points down to 2 to 1, and I'm looking no further. I do think that the favourite will win the first, favourite should win the second, so maybe a nice way to get going would be to take a double the first 2 favourites on the card, build the kitty for the rest of the exotics to come. The bipod starts here in race 2. Malshanamu, narrowly beaten in the last 2 starts. I do think she'll enjoy the step up to 1400. Only thing is, will she take to the poly surface, which I think she will. If she does, she's the one to beat. She's having a third run after a rest. She should be cherry ripe for the occasion. So, 3 Malshanamu, Samunga Kamalo to win it from Stallgate 3. For second, I'm going with number 8, Alana. Third, number 2, Kwali Brana. And fourth, number 6, Mrs. Glitter Sparkles. We move on to race number 3, which is the opening leg of the place accumulator, and this is a wide open affair. Here we could make a case for at least 5 or 6 of them. Still have to keep fingers crossed that we safely get through. 1 Nudsberg is at 4.55 to 1, top of the boards. That horse needed its last start, and I do think should strip fitter this time round. 5 Dawn Surprise, 5.56, always there or thereabout. Then you've got number 3, English Primrose, prefers further, at 6.25 to 1 in the betting. Another one at 6.25 is number 12, Miss Paget. That was a nice improved last effort. I like the third of the 6.25 horses in the betting, and that's number 8, the Queen Bee. Although that was not a bad run last time out, over a distance short of her best over 1200 metres. That form line, incidentally, in which she ran 6, has been franked by 2 horses. The one that finished second that day was a horse called Vision to Achieve, and the horse that finished fourth that day was a horse called Drive By. They have both subsequently come out to frank that form line. Good to see Calvin Abib back on board. She now goes over a distance she much prefers. From up handy, I do think she'll be staying on nicely at the business end of affairs, and I'm looking for the value, going with number 8, the Queen Bee, to win it, ahead of number 12, Miss Paget. For third, I'm going with 1 Nudsberg, and fourth with number 4, Sky Velocity. 1:30 is when you need to be on if you are going to be playing a pick 6. Race 4, Class 5, benchmark 66. 8 runners to line up at the 2000 metre mark. Oh, my good friend Barcy Rockfort is in the lineup. Now you're probably going to think, he's going to stick us into this again. Not this time round. I'm actually looking past him, and chances are he's probably going to come and spook me. He's half a kilo worse off at the weights with number 1, King Bavarian, and that was for a 1.8 length beating the last time they met. I'm squarely in the camp of number 1, King Bavarian. This horse set the pace last time out and found one just too good in the run down to the wire. If one looks at the form, model of consistency, and was third in his only attempt over the course and distance. From pole position, will have the run of the race, and this is the kind of horse that will go to the front, set the pace, and will be hard to peg back in the closing stages, coupled with the fact that he does appear to be the stable elect, as he does have Upton, Dewa and Gludwa on board. 3.03 to 1, I thought a nice price. Number 1, King Bavarian, to beat number 2, Basi Rachbat. For third, I'm going with number 5, Storm Ahead, and fourth to number 4, Silky Jet. Race 5, first leg of the first jackpot, a Class 4 benchmark 80, 11 runners to line up at the 1600 metre mark. And they're betting 5 to 1 the field here. All of 1 Dancing on a Cloud, 3 Viva de Janeiro, 4 Sparkling Jubilee. Also, number 11 Fair Advantage at 5 to 1. 5 to 1, I will just go field if you are going to be playing a pick 6, because this is a tough one. You know, you could probably make a case for each and every one of them. And on narrowing it down, I thought maybe Dean Kannemeyer could be the one that holds the key to the outcome of this race. He's got 2 lively chances. He's got 1 Dancing on a Cloud with Craig Zaki back on board. And Craig last time out returned to say he felt something amiss, but it's good to see that he's back in the irons. This horse's lightly race has been to the track 3 times and always tend to find the support if one looks at the starting price of this horse. He's still on the up, so there's still more improvement to come. 2 is Zwano, second in his only attempt over this course and distance. Sean Veal is back on board Zwano. Only thing about Zwano is he tends to be a little bit stowaway, but if he jumps on terms and goes up handy, he could be involved in the shake-up. And as I was working my way through all the 5 to 1 shots, and I got right to the bottom of the page to number 11, Fair Advantage, I thought, that's it. First choice selection. Yes, he is returning from a bit of a layoff, but he is unbeaten over the course and distance. He was slow into stride in both his last 2 starts, but on both occasions he ran on strongly to win them. I do think a hat-trick is on the cards. The Andre Nalhard is in very good form. Kelvin Habib on board, so I'm going 11 Fair Advantage to win it, ahead of 2 Zwano, 1 Dancing on a Cloud, and 3 Viva de Janeiro. 6 race. Class 4, Fillies and Mares, benchmark 80. 10 runners to line up at the 1600 metre mark. 2.5 to 1 number 9 Among the Clouds. Then it's 4 to 1 number 3 Fireburst. 6.25 bar those 2. I'm going to be siding with the 9 Among the Clouds. I went and have a look at that race again. Now this horse really over-raced in the early part of the race and eventually settled and was staying on to finish 4th. Beaten 2.5 lengths by the winner. That was on turf over 1800 metres. Yes, this is the kind of horse that likes to race up handy. Always there or thereabout. Brings nice solid Cape Town form to KZN. And I do think if Among the Clouds settles, will be a tough nut to crack. So I'm going 9 to win it, ahead of 3 Fireburst, 5 Boom Boom, and 8 Spring Kiss. Race 7, B Stakes, 10 runners to face the starter at the 1200 metre mark. And I thought this was a boat race between the 2 horses that are renewing rivalry, number 5 Rich Folks Hoax and number 6 Quandary. That's how I saw it when I first got to this race. I started looking at Quandary and I thought maybe he can back it up with another win, but then I saw him incur a £3 penalty for that last win when he beat Rich Folks Hoax by a head, and Rich Folks Hoax is now a half a kilo better off at the weights for that beating of a head. And I do think that should be pretty much enough to reverse the form. Rich Folks Hoax, a model of consistency, and I do think can go one better. Craig Zaki, Dean Kaname again. We're depending on them to arrive this time round. So 5 Rich Folks Hoax to win it. Ahead of the favourite, I'm giving that one the verdict for second, number 3 Blue Holly. For third, number 6 Quandary. And fourth, number 7 This Is What It Means. Penultimate race, race 8 on the card, Class 5, benchmark 66, where 10 runners will face the starter at the 1200 metre mark. In fact, there is a scratching here, so it's not 10. The field reduced to 9 with the scratching of number 6 T-Rex. We're down to 9 runners who will face the starter. Joint favourites in this race, 2.5 each of 2. 9 There She Goes, 10 Purple Powerhouse. 9 There She Goes brings solid Gauteng form to KZN, and number 10 Purple Powerhouse as honest as the day is long. Finished second behind Averni Princess, is now renewing rivalry again with number 8 Daring Act, who happens to be 5 kilos better off at the weights for a 1.9 length beating. Daring Act should theoretically finish well ahead of Purple Powerhouse, but I just can't get myself to see Purple Powerhouse finishing behind Daring Act because of Purple Powerhouse being always about the action. Second in his last 2 starts, honest as the day is long. And if he's not left with too much to do, that's the only problem that I have with Purple Powerhouse. He always has to come from miles back, but he's picking them off one by one in the run to the line, and he sometimes always doesn't get there on time. I'm hoping that this time round Sean Veal will be able to get there on the line where it matters most. So I'm giving 10 Purple Powerhouse the verdict to win it, ahead of 8 Daring Act, for third number 4 Hippocrates, and fourth number 1 Cotton Ron. That takes us on to the last race on the card, race 9, a class 4 for fillies, benchmark 80. This race over 1,000 metres, 9 runners to face the starter. Number 3 Icy Eleanor 2.5 to 1, 5 Happy Analia at 2.86 to 1, 9 Rugger Lovers at 4 to 1, who happens to be a kilo better off for the weights for a 0.5 length beating by number 3 Icy Eleanor. I thought, let me go for maybe number 5 Happy Analia. We went for her last time out. She won her last start over this course and over this distance. She's a model of consistency. She must have a chance, but I kept going back to number 3 Icy Eleanor. Won its debut start by a neck. Then after a 51-week break, came back and ran second. That was an excellent, excellent comeback run. Showed pace that day, was staying on in the closing stages. Now this horse should strip a whole lot fitter second run after rest. And I can tell you, Icy Eleanor does look way above average. I think if Icy Eleanor takes to the surface, she will be a tough nut to crack, despite the fact that there is a swing of the weights with number 9 Rugger Lover. So I'm going 3 Icy Eleanor to win it, ahead of number 5 Happy Analia, 9 Rugger Lover, and 1 Prankster. And that takes care of racing at Hollywoodbets Greyville on Wednesday. I trust you'll find the winners. Don't forget your Hollywoodbet Punted Challenge entries. Those need to be on 5 minutes before the advertised starting time of the first. Play the bet slip and put yourself in line to winning the big cash incentive prize. In fact, on Monday, somebody came very, very close to winning the Hollywoodbet Punted Challenge, but guess what? Didn't play the bet slip, so was only running for half the jackpot. You want to win the big one, play the bet slip. Wish you the best of luck. Till next time, from me, Rouvaun. You take care. Cheers for now.